The other players were there. Lexi Hall, obviously. So there was no Sid Colson, and no idea who that is with Sid Colson. Ari McDonald obviously was there as well. And look, we got no Caitlin. And if we're being honest, she looked incredibly uncomfortable to be there last year. I think she just probably is not in the mood.
The WNBA just got hit with an unexpected twist that caught almost everyone off guard. As stars lined up and posed on the orange carpet for All-Star Weekend, one major name was noticeably missing. Caitlin Clark made a bold and surprising decision. And now, questions are swirling throughout the league, and a move that's sparking plenty of conversation. Clark opted out of attending the high-profile event. While fans and fellow players were dressed to impress, Clark was noticeably absent from the scene. Her Indiana Fever teammates, including Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Ari McDonald, all made appearances, but Clark chose not to participate. This unexpected absence has led to a lot of speculation. Was it a calculated move? Personal choice? Regardless, it stirred up a fresh wave of debate around her role in the league and how events like these are handled. What's your take on Caitlin Clark missing the orange carpet? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
I think she's probably not in the mood. I think the whole festivities of All-Star Weekend, I think, one, I just don't think this is her scene anyway. I don't think this is somewhere which she wanted to be last year. If we can be honest, I do not think she wanted to be there last year. But I'm guessing all the comments, the 11 comments, are going to be, where's Caitlin? Where's CC? Why didn't Caitlin go? She was at the CBA earlier. I would assume it's just been a lot on her plate. I don't think the CBA negotiations went well. I just think all around it might have just been too much, and she's like, you know what, I'm not going. I'm missing All-Star Weekend, I'm missing the 3-point contest. I backed out of the NBA 3-point contest.
Before we dive into the details, let's break down why this even matters. The orange carpet is essentially the WNBA spotlight moment. Their version of the red carpet where players get to shine, media buzz builds, and the league showcases its biggest personalities. But when the most talked about player doesn't even make an appearance, that speaks volumes. Louder than any post-game interview or tweet ever could. Truth is, if you caught last year's event, you might have noticed that Caitlin Clark didn't exactly look thrilled to be there. Her body language said it all. Smiling for the cameras, doing the usual walkthrough, but clearly just going through the motions. It was as if she was counting the seconds until it was over. In that context, her decision to skip this year's festivities isn't exactly shocking. At least not to those who were paying attention. What's really compelling, though, is how heavily the league has leaned into the Caitlin Clark effect. She's been at the center of their promotional campaigns, fan engagement, and ticket sales. Her presence has become a cornerstone of their marketing push. That's why her absence at such a major event likely has league officials raising eyebrows, and maybe even sounding the alarm in a few boardrooms.
Getting to go to the NBA All-Star Weekend and shoot against Steph Curry. She backed out of that. So I assume she's going to do that next year. I assume that's going to be the thing. But if Caitlin continues to shoot 20-something% from 3, I don't know if that's going to be still a thing.
Let's be honest. Caitlin Clark has been going through it lately. Physically, she's taken more hits in the last few months than some players deal with in entire seasons. From lingering foot pain to back troubles and who knows what else. She hasn't caught a real break since training camp kicked off in April. We're talking not even 10 straight days of being fully healthy. That kind of wear and tear, especially for someone who's likely never faced this level of injury before, can take a serious toll not just on the body but on the mind. And for someone like Clark, who eats, sleeps, and breathes the game, being forced to slow down is brutal. Athletes at her level don't handle inactivity well. It chips away at their confidence and rhythm in ways that casual fans often overlook now. Layer that with the drama off the court. The league's collective bargaining agreement, CBA negotiations, are stuck in quicksand, and somehow Clark has been pulled into the mess. It's like the league sees her as the golden ticket to fix everything, including a potential lockout. She's barely out of her rookie season, yet she's expected to help steer the direction of the entire WNBA. That's a lot to ask, and frankly, it's more than a little unfair. The CBA situation is volatile, and the risk of a lockout is very real. If things don't get resolved soon, we could be looking at a scenario where one of the WNBA's brightest stars doesn't suit up again until 2027. Let that sink in. A generational talent sidelined for years, not by injury, but by mismanagement and stalled negotiations. And then there's the online noise. The backlash Clark has faced this season. Next level. The criticism has snowballed. Every missed shot is dissected. Every misstep is meme material. And any off night turns into a debate over whether she's the real deal or just media hype. It's relentless, and it's exhausting, even for someone as mentally tough as Clark.
An easy time right now, and I think a lot of people are, probably rightfully concerned, because it's one thing when you're healthy and everything's going well, and you can brush off all the stuff when things are going well, because at the end of the day, she's a basketball player. At the end of the day, I said at the end of the day twice, either way, she can brush off a lot of the stuff because the basketball was going so well. Like all the hate, and this year the hate has doubled. All it takes is a moment of weakness and logging onto Twitter. Like, that's literally all it takes, is a moment of weakness and logging onto Twitter. And like, obviously people like Caitlin has this superhuman ability to block everything out. Like, there's no guarantee that she's always going to have that superhuman ability. There's no guarantee there's not going to be times in people's lives times in her life where maybe it affects her. And look, at the end of the day, she's human.
Let's step back and talk real for a second. Caitlin Clark has been one of the toughest mental competitors we've seen. She's weathered storms that would have broken a lot of other athletes. But even the strongest have their limits. After months of non-stop pressure, physical, mental, and emotional, it looks like she finally hit a point where she said, "Nope, not today." And honestly, good for her. There's no reason she should keep pushing through media appearances and public obligations when she's already stretched thin. With everything else she's juggling, injuries, constant scrutiny, and a league leaning heavily on her, it's no surprise she decided to sit this one out. What's surprising is that it took this long. Behind the scenes, the WNBA has been leaning on Clark hard. Want her at a press event? Is there? Need a face for a new marketing campaign? Use Clark. Negotiating a CBA that's going nowhere fast. Drag her into the room like she's got all the answers. Oh, and don't forget she's expected to compete at the highest level despite not being fully healthy. That kind of demand isn't sustainable. Not for anyone, even someone as gifted as Clark, and treating her like a brand asset instead of a human being. The league forgot one important thing. She has the right to say no. And this moment, skipping the orange carpet, is her drawing that line. It's her reminding everyone that she's not a robot built for PR appearances and high expectations. She's a person with real limits and real priorities. The irony: this moment might be exactly the wake-up call the WNBA needed. While the other fever players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston looked great and held it down, the media buzz around the event was noticeably smaller. Because, like it or not, Clark is the biggest draw. And if anyone's questioning her commitment, remember, this is the same player who turned down a chance to compete in the NBA's three-point contest with Stephen Curry, just because she wanted her first one to be special in Indiana. If she's willing to skip that, then skipping a red carpet walk is barely a footnote. The unfortunate part for the league is that this no-show came at the worst time, right before All-Star Weekend, their main showcase of the year. And instead of boosting buzz, Clark's absence only highlighted how dependent the WNBA has become on one player. But maybe that's the point. Maybe this is Clark taking control of her narrative. For the first time, she's clearly putting her own health and sanity ahead of everyone else's agenda. That's not selfish, that's smart. It's growth. And the truth is, this is just the beginning. Clark's learning that she has leverage, power, influence. If the league wants to keep her happy and healthy, they'll have to meet her halfway. Because it's clear now that she's not going to just keep showing up because she's expected to. She's been injured 4 separate times since training camp began. That's not a coincidence. That's a sign something needs to change, with her workload, her training, or the expectations being placed on her. And let's not ignore how crazy it is that a second-year player is being asked to help fix labor negotiations involving millions of dollars. That's not her responsibility. And it never should have been. Her decision to skip this event also sends another clear message. The WNBA cannot afford to put all its weight on one set of shoulders. Because when that person steps away, even just for one event, the entire machine feels it. This year we're seeing a different Clark. Not the one who just grits her teeth and powers through, but someone who's learned when to take a step back. That's maturity. That's leadership. That's the mindset of someone planning for longevity, not just survival. Her decision not to walk that orange carpet might seem small, but it's symbolic. It's about self-respect. It's about boundaries. And it's about reminding everyone that she's not just here to serve the league's interests. She's here to build something meaningful for herself. Now the ball's in the WNBA's court. Will they support her and adapt? Or will they keep doing things the same way and risk losing the one player they can't afford to lose? Because if they don't start respecting her time, her limits, and her well-being, they'd better get used to throwing orange carpet events without their top star. Caitlin Clark just made it clear. She's not here to be anyone's marketing puppet. She's here to play basketball on her own terms. What do you think this means for the future of the league? Is this a turning point? Drop your take in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more takes on the biggest stories in hoops.